Hello dear student, I welcome you in the lecture number 2. In this lecture, I'll explain you about the sexual reproduction, structure of flower and TS of anther. Sexual reproduction, it involves the fusion of two compatible gametes or sex cell. It means it includes two parents, male parents and male and female parents reproduce their young one by producing their respective gametes, male gametes from the male part and female gametes from the female part. These two gametes fuse together and convert into a zygote. That zygote leads to the formation of the next generation of that parents. All the living organism only after maturity can reproduce sexually. So flower, it is specialized reproductive structure of the plant in which sexual reproduction takes place. Flower is the most important part of the plant, and it is the modified shoot which take part in the process of the sexual reproduction. Its function includes it is used to produce the haploid gametes and to ensure that the fertilization will takes place. A typical flower consists of four parts, that is called its whorl, and these are the four different whorl. Number 1 calyx, number 2 corolla, number 3 androecium, number 4 gynoecium. Out of these four different whorl, first two calyx and corolla are known as non-essential floral whorl, while the second, third and fourth one, that is androecium and gynoecium, is known as essential whorl or reproductive whorl. The single unit of the calyx is called sepal, single unit of the corolla is called petal, single unit of the androecium is called stamen, and the single unit or member of the gynoecium is called carpel. So we'll see here diagrammatically all these parts one by one. Calyx is always green in color and it is located at the lowermost side of the typical plant. As you can observe here in this calyx, there are two sepals. Upper side of the calyx there is a corolla, and corolla is always colorful. There are different colors in the different flowers because of the corolla. It is very attractive part of the flower. Corolla single unit is called stamen. Here you can observe corolla in a red color, and three petals you can observe here. Then androecium is the male part of the flower, and it consists of small single unit that is called stamen, and 5 stamens you are observing here, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and that 5 stamens together is called androecium. The gynoecium is the female part of the flower, and it is always located at the middle side, and its single unit is called carpel, and one carpel is made up of 3 parts, that is stigma, style and ovary, that I'll explain you later in the next lecture. The essential whorl of the flower are always androecium and gynoecium. That's why it is also called reproductive whorl. Then the sexual reproduction involves two major events: meiosis, that is the reduction cell division, in which the cell divides and its chromosome reduce in number, then the fusion of gametes to form the diploid zygote, the production of the genetically dissimilar offspring. Variations are useful for the survival and the evolution of the species over the time. The sexual reproduction is characterized by the fusion of the male and female gamete. It is the specialty of the sexual reproduction in which male and female gametes are fused to form the zygote by the process of the fertilization. It means fertilization is nothing but the process of formation of the zygote, that is diploid cell to end cell, each end coming from the two parents, male parents and female parents. That haploid two gametes fuse to form the diploid cell, that is called zygote, and this process is called fertilization. Formation of the zygote is always done by the process of the fertilization. It is followed by the embryogenesis. Different part of the plants is formed after the formation of the zygote by the zygote. Then the sequential events that occur in the sexual reproduction are grouped into 3 distinct stages, with pre-fertilization stage, fertilization stage and post-fertilization stage. If you go to learn about the male part of the flower, so it is always androecium. The male reproductive order of the flower is called androecium, and its single unit or its individual units or its individual member is called stamen. So you can observe here the left side diagram is the diagram of androecium, and the right side diagram is its single unit. In this diagram you can observe here the 3 stamens are there. Out of that, one is shown to you in a zoom condition. So this is called stamen. A stamen is always the single unit of the androecium, and it consists of 3 parts. The upper part of the stamen is called anther. Then it shows the next part, connective, and the stalk-like structure, that is called filament. In an stamen there are 3 parts: filament, connective, and anther. The structure of the anther. The structure of the anther, it includes an immature stage of the anther is represented by the group of parenchymatous tissue surrounded by a single layer epidermis. You can observe in this diagram the group of the parenchymatous tissue is in a almost violet in color, and black color epidermal tissue is there. Structure of the anther. This is the most important part. It is always playing a very important role in the life of the plant. Anther is generally diothecous, having 2 lobes. So you can see here this stamen is diothecous, and it is consisting of 2 lobes, one at the left side and one at another right side. So anther is generally diothecous, having 2 lobes, and tetrasporangiate. Tetrasporangiate means it shows the four pollen sac, and that's why, because of the 4, tetra means 4, because of the 4 pollen sac in the anther, it is called tetrasporangiate. In the diothecous anther, 4 pollen sacs are present, therefore it is tetrasporangiate. Each monothecous anther contain 2 pollen sacs. As you can see in this diagram, if anther is monothecous consisting of only 1 lobe, then it shows 2 pollen sacs. The heterogeneity differentiation arises when some hypodermal cell get transported into the archosporial cells. Now we'll see the TS of anther. The TS of anther, the archosporial cell divides into an inner sporogenous cell and outer primary parietal cell. Sporogenous cells to form the sporogenous tissue, and each cell of sporogenous tissue is capable of giving rise to a microspore tetrad. These are the function of the sporogenous cell. Then the outermost parietal cell. Parietal cell, it undergoes divisions to form the anther walls, and the wall of the matured anther consists of 4 layers: epidermis, outermost layer, beneath it endothecium, beneath it middle layer, and as a lowermost layer tapetum. So now TS of anther, it includes the archosporial cell, which divides into 2 types of the cell: inner sporangial cell and the outer parietal cell. Sporangial cell convert into a sporogenous tissue, which finally converts into a microspore, forming a tetrad, 4 spore structure. The outer parietal layer, it forms the anther walls. Epidermis is the outermost protective layer made up of tubular flattened cells. As you can observe here, this anther, epidermis is the outermost layer. Endothecium, beneath the epidermis there is one layer indicating by here with the red color ink. It is subepidermal, made up of a radially elongated cell with a fibrous thickening. Means the outermost layer is epidermis, beneath it there is endothecium, another layer, then it is followed by the middle layer. Inner to the endothecium, made up of thin walled cells, 1 to 2 layered, which may disintegrate into a mature anther. It is called middle layer. Then tapetum is the innermost nutritive layer of the anther wall, and it immediately encloses the sporogenous tissue microscope mother cell. This is that black color structure, the black color circle is called tapetum. So likewise, in the structure TS of anther, there is outermost layer epidermis, beneath it there is endothecium, beneath it there is middle layer, and the innermost tapetum. Tapetum converts into the sporogenous tissue, and connective tissue is always also there.